Good afternoon, everyone. I would also like to introduce our translator, Maria Torres. If you would like to listen to this message in Spanish, you can click on the globe in your controls at the bottom of your screen and select Spanish.
Buenas tardes a todos, bienvenidos. Vamos a tener este foro traducido, interpretado. Pueden, una vez que termine yo de hablar, ver un globo que va a aparecer en su pantalla, lo presionan, hacen clic y van a seleccionar español.
Thank you. And again, welcome. This afternoon, we are going to present on a food service update and Family Resource Center information. All right, so I am Erin Primer. I am the Director of Food Service for San Luis Coastal, and joining me later in the presentation will be Chris Dowler, who's in charge of our Family Resource Center. And I'm going to share my screen, and we'll get started. All right, so it's been quite an exciting opening to school year 2021. And just a quick recap about our summer program. We have served so many meals just in the summertime, over 132,000 meals in just the time we've been open for summer. It's been a great collaboration between many departments, and we really appreciate the support of the district and our students and families, so thank you very much. Since schools have closed, we have served over 287,000 meals since March, which we're really proud of being able to have such an impact in our community. We did end our summer meal program on July 29th, and the next 3 Wednesdays, or the first 3 Wednesdays of August, we have been offering a free produce and protein box for families. No sign up is required. This has just been something to help in addition while we're closed for our summer meal program before we open in the fall. This has been a collaboration between USDA, the SLO Food Bank, and the LA Food Bank. We've got one more coming up next Wednesday on the 19th. You can come to Laguna Middle School from 11 to 1 and pick up a free protein or produce box. So the big question that has been on everyone's mind is, will you be able to continue serving free meals the way that we've been since March? And in this moment today, on August 14th, the answer is not yet. USDA has not given the waiver that would extend free meals through the fall. That has ended after our summer program has ended. We are hopeful that this is something that can pass, but at this point we're planning as if we do not yet have this waiver. So what that really means is we really encourage you to sign up for our lunch meal program. The application is available at www.lunchapplication.com, and it really is more than just a meal kit. There's benefits for your students, including free meals at school, discounts on sport programs, internet costs, college prep exams, and it really helps our school sites out. There's increased funding opportunities, grant eligibility, and really more ability to purchase local foods. So when you think about applying for our school meal program, please know that it is more than a meal. If you fill it out online, there's a 24-hour turnaround, and if you want a paper application, they are available on our website, but it does take about 10 days to process. So again, we really encourage all of our families to fill out a meal application for the 2021 school year. Meal eligibility must be renewed each school year. So if you were on the meal program last school year, we do ask that you reapply for this school year. That eligibility will carry over 30 days into the new school year. But benefits will expire on 10/5 unless a new application is received. And we do ask for 1 meal application per family. If you have any incoming kindergartners or older siblings, you can add to an older sibling's meal application from the previous school year. If you need any assistance at all, or you have any questions about meal eligibility or meal applications, you can contact us in the food service office. So we are continuing to plan for weekly meal kits. Again, USDA and CDE require that, or they outline all of the rules that we must follow. And while many of the waivers have been extended, the one to serve free meals in 2021 has not. We will continue offering high quality food options. We will offer a plant-forward or a climate-friendly meal kit, which really just means meatless. There still will be some dairy options, but you'll have a choice of a meal kit with or without meat. And we are really intentionally spending with our local businesses. You've probably seen Edna's Bakery and Taco Works as vendors that we use, as well as other direct local farms. We will have another form that you can sign up, and that will go live next week. So we will communicate that with an announcement via Parent Square and district newsletter. It will also be posted on our website. And a lot of questions that we get are around which sites we'll be operating our drive-through meal service at. The factors that we take into consideration are childcare, if that's happening at that school site, the ease of access, storage and equipment, and something called CACFP, which I'm going to talk a little bit more about. The sites that we are confirmed for are Morro Bay High and Laguna Middle School, and we're hoping to add Los Osos Middle School. So if you're hopeful, as we are, that we can operate at Los Osos, I really encourage you to fill out a meal application so that we can include that site in our weekly meal kit site locations. So when I talked about CACFP or supper, what that means is that a site has 50% or more free and reduced students at that area. And again, we're operating at Morro Bay High, Laguna Middle School, and we're working on loans. And the reason this is important is now that we are not able to do free meals for everyone, we have to go back to free, reduced, and paid for meal charging. And currently, if we did that with our current weekly meal kit, the paid price would be $25 per child. It's $0 if you're on the free and reduced meal program. So if we don't get the waiver extended like we've been hoping for, our plan is to make a $10 meal kit that will include breakfast and supper. Supper is the same components as a lunch program, but it's something that we can offer at a $0 at these qualified sites. So this is why we want to operate at our supper sites. And if we do get the waiver, then we would be able to offer 3 meals per child per day, which would be breakfast, lunch, and supper, all free for anyone 0 to 18. But since we don't have that yet, our plan is to move forward with a breakfast and supper meal kit, which will look identical to what we've done in the past, adding the plant forward option, and then also having a $10 charge for that. Not right now, babe. All right, so the USDA waivers are critical to continue serving free meals to everyone. So if you've filled out a meal application or you're not qualified for the meal program, there will be a charge for the meal kit. Again, it's going to be $10, and that does need to be prepaid. You can use K12paymentcenter.com. We are allowing meal charging, so it's important to know that if you sign up on the weekly meal kit form and you're not on the meal program, we will charge that $10 after you've picked up your meal kit. We're still moving forward with our angel accounts and accepting donations to the program so that we can help cover costs for families who are struggling and in need. We've been doing some nutrition education over the summer program. We have some resources on our website, slcusdfood.org, and the district also has some resources under the COVID portion of our website. There's been some great community partnerships, Flow Library, One Cool Earth, and we've even done a virtual cooking class with plant-forward, climate-friendly foods. This is some highlights from our virtual cooking class. We had students taste and make a Thai basil lentil burger that was really delicious, and we're hoping that that will be featured on our plant-forward meal kits this fall as well. So final reminders, fill out a lunch application at lunchapplication.com. If you're not on the meal program, kindly prepay for weekly meal kits at K12paymentcenter.com. And look for our sign-up form to go live next week. And again, we'll share that link via Parent Square, the district newsletter, and website. And if you have any questions, concerns, food allergies, contact our office. We are definitely here to help make this as smooth of a transition as possible in an otherwise a little bit different new school year. So thank you, everyone. Our phone number is on there as well, and you can always follow us on Instagram at SLCUSD And now I would like to turn it over to Chris Dowler with the Family Resource Center.
Hi, I guess I'll share my screen. Hi, I'm here. My name is Chris Dowler. I'm the Deputy Director for Student Support Services with San Luis Coastal Unified School District. I've been involved for about the last 10 years with developing and implementing a family resource system throughout the district. The Family Resource Center was founded in 2010 as a partnership with local nonprofits to offer free support services to families. Our first Family Resource Center was located in Los Osos, where we partnered with various community agencies to co-locate people and people that worked in each one of these groups to have an office space and also a meeting space and also a therapist office that were offered through at the Family Resource Center. These partnerships included the SLO County Food Bank, Community Counseling Center, Transitions Mental Health Association, and the LINK, as well as the Children's Resource Network. We also, in addition to that, we opened an office at the CAPSLO, which is Community Action Partnership, San Luis Obispo. Their office down on Southwood Drive in San Luis Obispo, and we opened that in 2012. One of the things that we noticed right away within the first year of having these offices is we had a pretty low amount of people that were able to access services in our community family resource centers. Anytime you talk about offering services to families and students, oftentimes in the world of social services, they'll talk about barriers. What are the barriers to people getting access to those services? In this case, we figured the location in a community neighborhood might have been a barrier. So if we're talking about people needing services through schools, but yet we set out a location in the community, people were less likely to access that. So what we decided to do was, after a couple of years, was push out services to the schools. An example of that would be our therapist program for free therapeutic services. We worked with the Community Counseling Center and other nonprofits to have a therapist located on each campus. So at this point, for the first time actually this school year, there will be a therapist located on every single one of our campuses. We've used a variety of partnerships, grants, both district and agency funds to push out these programs to the sites, which includes therapists, food distribution, school supplies, as well as family advocates. A family advocate, I want to talk about that a little bit. The family advocates are a key component of our program. We partnership with two local nonprofits, the LINK, which is centered out of Atascadero, and CAPSLO here in San Luis Obispo, to have family advocates. There's a picture of one of our family advocates on the right. What a family advocate does is they basically coordinate all of the Family Resource Center activities on a campus. So they are the primary coordinator, working with food bank distributions, clothing distributions, school supplies, and case management to families. And I think that's a key component of what they offer, is working with families to help navigate the bureaucracy and the maze of bureaucracy and social services out there. So they work with the family to help them get access to everything from healthcare, emergency financial support, whatever connection they need through a nonprofit or a public agency in order to get support. One thing that has allowed our family advocates to be really successful in the past year is when our school district went into distance learning is our educational foundation, which you see a picture here from their website on the left-hand side of this slide. The educational foundation, the San Luis Coastal Educational Foundation, started raising money to help support families and students during this period of school closure. They call it the School Closure Impact Fund. And we have been receiving grants. The Family Resource Center has been receiving grants from the Educational Foundation, which has been huge in allowing our family advocates to be able to work with families, helping them obtain short-term emergency financial assistance for things like internet access, electricity bills, rental assistance. So they're able to offer small emergency assistance while working with them to obtain more sustainable public assistance. So there's a process, it's about a couple hour long process in which the family advocates will work with the families to help direct them towards not just getting a support for a bill, but also for getting more sustainable public assistance. Another key role of our family advocates is they help identify families who would qualify, families and students who will qualify under the McKinney-Vento Homeless Act. Roughly about over 600 students in San Luis Coastal Unified School District are considered homeless under the McKinney-Vento Act. This is federal legislation. I think it's key to understand that while many of us view homelessness as people sleeping in a homeless shelter or in a car or a park, homelessness is a much more expanded definition under this federal legislation. So I listed here on the left-hand side of this slide the qualifiers to identify a homeless student in a school district. So that would include families that are doubled up. So you might have 2 or 3 or 4 families living in a single residence. That would qualify a student as homeless if they're doing that for financial reasons. So roughly about 75% of those 600 plus students are doubled up in a home or a dwelling. This also includes, McKinney-Vento also requires that we identify students who are unaccompanied youth, which is also an expanded definition. So this would include any youth that is living with someone who is a non-court appointed custodian. So that's a key distinction, and those students are considered unaccompanied under McKinney-Vento. Also includes families and students living in homeless shelters, transitional shelters, and a hotel or motel. I listed on the right-hand side of the slide different support services that are offered through our schools. So our family advocates will help those families and students with expedited school enrollment, helping them gather whatever documents that they need to help with enrollment. It also requires us to offer them transportation and free school lunch. We also help making sure that students have all the school supplies they need. Family advocates will work with the families providing direct case management services, as well as quarterly check-ins with family advocates, counseling supports, to make sure that those families and students are provided for. I think the scope and impact is important for people to understand for our Family Resource Center. Our Family Resource Center, if you look at it as not a physical location, but a whole scope of services and supports that are coordinated through the Family Resource Center, this would include therapeutic services for nearly 300 students a year, food bank distributions that are coordinated on our school sites for about 100 families a month on average, and our family advocates provide intensive case management for up to 150 families a year. But since April, the workload for our family advocates has been really increased with stay-at-home and quarantine orders. We've had a lot of families ask for financial assistance. That's included about 200 families to this point, for a total of 324 adults, impacting 452 children in our school district. And we have helped distribute about over $65,000 in emergency financial assistance to those families. The funds for that have primarily come from our educational foundation, but we've used those grants to also leverage grants from various community agencies. It's important that people know if they would like to help with our efforts in the Family Resource Center, The most effective and best form of support at this point right now is providing a donation to the San Luis Coastal Education Foundation School Closure Impact Fund. There's a link on this slide. However, if a family needs assistance, there's a phone number on the right-hand side of the slide that you can call to talk to someone in the Family Resource Center about how you can get support. In addition, there are 2 key emails, and these are our family advocates and a general email for the Family Resource Center as well. Lastly, I'd like to say it's important if you are confused about how to access support through the Family Resource Center, you can also talk to your school counselor. All right, and I think that's it. And we are available for any questions that anybody might have.
If anyone does have any questions, you can use the participant box and click on the blue raise hand, and we can address your questions that way as well.
Erin, so far you don't have any questions?
All right. Well, if that's the case, Eric, do you have anything for us?
Well, I do. I just, you know, I'm sorry, you guys got the short stick getting Friday afternoon for this particular forum. I just, you know, can't say enough about the work that you've done, Erin, with the food service department in our district. You've really been an amazing, innovative contributor to how we've reframed our food culture in our district, and you've been just an exceptional leader along the way, and I just can't say enough about the work you've done and you continue to do. And Mr. Dowler, I can't say enough about the work you've done as well, partnering with the foundation board and the Family Resource Center advocacy model. It's just been tremendous. You know, these are things that a lot of people just wouldn't normally be aware of. But, you know, Chris, you have found a way to link resources with need. And you do it quietly. And the family resource advocates that we have, family advocates that we have, I know do amazing work too. So I'm just grateful that you agreed to come and present a little bit of what you do. And I'm just super grateful. I know the community is appreciative of both of your efforts to make our district great. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Eric. And I do want to recognize, I see Mariana Gutierrez, who is a family advocate through CATSLO. She's logged into this meeting. And I just want to say that, you know, she has been an all-star from day one with our family resource centers. And I really appreciate her work, and she's fantastic, amazing. Well,
the message that'll come out from me on Monday to all the employees is that we can't do this alone. That we have to do this together. And to everyone who's on here today, it tells me you care, and I know that you're rolling up your sleeves every day. So I can speak, I believe, on behalf of our school board. They've shared similar thoughts that I just shared with you regarding the work you do. So way to go. And are there any final thoughts before we end this meeting? Mr. Dowler, Ms. Primer?
No, I'm good. Thanks, Eric.
All right. Erin?
Thank you again for your leadership, Eric. It's been an absolute pleasure to do this work in such an incredible district, and from the school board to the superintendent to our administration and our cabinet, and of course everyone who makes it up. I'm just honored to be in such a fantastic district, and I thank all of you for providing all of that.
Well, this is a good way to end the weekend. Thank you again, guys. Really appreciate it.
Take care.
Take care.